Members, I call on private and local order of the day number 1.
Tasman District Council, validation and recovery of certain rates bill, third reading.
Mr Speaker.
I call the Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I move that the Tasman District Council validation and recovery of certain rates bill be now read a third time. Mr Speaker, we've now come to the third reading of the bill, and I know there will be many officials and councillors in Richmond and in the Tasman area who will be relieved to know that the bill is about to pass through the House. It's been some time in coming. In fact, it was 23rd of January last year, I think, that the bill had its first reading referral to the Local Government Environment Select Committee in February. So it has taken some time to come through the process, and I'm sure the council's felt as though it's on tender hooks since that time. Reluctantly, I think all members of the Select Committee and Parliament, of course, realise that this bill needs to pass through to rectify mistakes, would be the polite word, I guess, that have been made by TDC in setting rates, rates that were not just in 1 year, in fact, Mr Speaker, but from 2003-04 through to 08 and 09. Mr Speaker, mistakes will be made, and we accept that we must rectify them. Parliament doesn't like putting through retrospective legislation, but we will do so to assist the ratepayers of TDC. The lesson here is for staff in all councils up and down this country to listen a little more carefully to ratepayers who may raise issues from time to time, trying to alert them to mistakes possibly, or to things that need improvement more likely. All too often, and I have to say it still occurs within TDC, the officials and ultimately the councillors who are supposed to run the officials don't listen carefully enough to wise and sensible propositions from ratepayers. One of the issues at the moment, and it's taken me about 2 years to make some progress with the council, is on the speed limits outside schools. Mr Speaker, I'm not going to dwell on that other than to say that can TDC and other councils take more action in a more timely way to improve the way they operate. So when ratepayers like Mr Schmucki and his group of ratepayers at Tata Beach and Liger Bay raise issues about possible irregularities, possible illegal setting of rates, then they are listened to with an open mind, not simply shut down by the council as happened here. Mr Schmucki should be applauded. His tenacity took this issue through to the Ombudsman. The Ombudsman then ruled that not only the rates for the urban drainage area of Liger Bay and Tata Beach, not only were they wrong, but in fact the rates relating to this longer period. That's why the TDC had to draft this legislation. I'm happy to support it on behalf of the ratepayers of TDC to move forward to ensure we have proper rate setting in retrospect, but also that we have a better system going forward. As I say, the comment to the Select Committee that this was a failure of Rates 101 is perhaps something council staff should not forget, and it should prompt them, as I say, to have an open mind, to always be listening to the thousands of ratepayers who, in their own right, are astute, are inquisitive, have good ideas to improve the way we run our local government systems. So don't shut them out into the future. Mr Speaker, it's with that in mind that I thank the House, I thank the Select Committee for its careful consideration. There was another hearing of both parties relating to the Tata Beach and Liger Bay urban drainage area in an attempt to try and find some solution. I know that parties don't all feel happy about the solution. In the end, politics is the art of the possible. We've moved forward, and hopefully such mistakes won't occur in the end. Mr Speaker, I'm happy to sponsor this bill and, as I say, to appreciate the wider support of Parliament. Kia ora.
The question is that the motion be agreed to.
Mr Speaker.
I call the honourable member